Next time in the workshop, it's roller derby. Yeah, time to go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the workshop. We are working on the referee for the roller skate derby board game, of course, of which I could never remember the name. Impact City Roller Derby. That is the name of the game. It's right there on my shelf. So, as you can see, we've got the basis of the white shirt. Now we're gonna try and get some black stripes on there, because what's a referee? So we're gonna use our Citadel Abaddon black. Right there. I don't know if I can get it to focus in, but you can sort of make it out. It says Abaddon black. Well, and we are what are we going to use for the stripes? What do you think? I'm going to open up a new package. Right there. Vallejo brushes. Do I want to use that one? Yeah, let's use that one. I love how there's no real easy way to open them, so just use the teeth, because why not? And then we just hopefully slide the brush out. If not, we are going to fight with the packaging, because that's what we do. And behold, new brush. Okay. And we are going kind of thicken up the lines. these as we go. Kind of keep it as nice and as steady and as straight as you can. If you wanna cheat a little bit, that's okay if you want to. Drawing, you know, drawing stripes isn't exactly the easiest thing in the world. But if you want to cheat, if you want to make things a little bit easier on you instead of actually using paints, you can always use a Sharpie, and that's quite okay if you do that too. As I said, you know, stripes can be quite hard. And then you got to go back in and fix up any spots that are a little weird or a little too wide. Oh, but at the same time, these are just, you know, representations of what the real people are. So, you know, make it as perfect or as representative as you want. That's totally okay. there we are. You know, it's representative of what it should be. Looks like a ref. And I'm pretty sure the rules will allow me to play him like a ref. Now, we have to move on to some of the other more finicky parts. Yeah, that's right. I said more finicky. We'll let that dry, and then maybe we'll go back and fix some of those lines. I'm gonna go in and we're gonna paint the face. And as you know, the referee has one of those, in theory. But it looks like he might have a beard, so we'll have to take that into account. There we go. And it looks like he's got gloves on, so we're probably just going to leave those black as well. But while we're letting that dry, doesn't take very long, but are gonna pull up my lovely Xandri dust. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try paint where his pads are. On his shirt. Trying to make his entire outfit as different as I can. From the roller derby girls. I mean, other than he's obviously a male. them, as different as I can so that you can pick them out fast in your game. Having a completely different looking outfit is easily one way to do it. There we are. And we'll clean things up a little bit later. But while we're doing that, we are going to let that kind of dry up. We're going to the next step of the face. Next step of the face, we're going to use, my old, nice, tried and true Cadian flesh tone. And he gets the entirety of his visible skin done. Keep that on the side. And then I'm going to use two different washes. We're going to use the Agrax Earthshade to kind of give some depth to the pads. There we go. then we take some Reichland Flesh Shade. And we give the face a bit of a wash down. There we go. Those guys will just need a few minutes to dry. But while we're doing that, I noticed that on one of my ladies, that some of the pink kind of got onto her helmet and stuff, so figured I would take a minute to kind of tidy up our derby girl. There we are. You know what I was thinking? Okay. Don't put him there. These aren't the best miniatures in the world, but they're good and they're representative of what they are. You know, like down here, there's very little in the way of wheels, so huh. And now we're going to go back to our referee. And we're just gonna put some highlights on the cheeks and maybe go. We're not going to do much extra highlighting and stuff like that. We're just going to move on to the beard. And I think for him, I'm kind of go with a brownish color. Well, it is a brown color. It's called dryad bark, but it's a not necessarily a super dark brown color. And I actually think he had like a full beard. And you can see part of the hair sticking out, so that's obviously going to get painted as well. And then we're just going to give it a little bit of a highlight because it's got some great, they attempted to do some great detail for the beard. We're going to do just the tiniest little bits of highlight. There we are. Now he actually is now he actually does have a whistle in his mouth, so for that we're going to use the handy dandy lead belcher. A nice silver I like to use. And we need such a small amount. Because the whistle is super tiny. And there we are. Things are dry. It's time to do a bit of a cleanup, starting with the pants and everything. So that'll be the black. that's just to fix some of the overpaints that I may have done. Now, on the pads. Make things a little nicer. Now he does have kind of a sort of a strap thing, you know, strap on his helmet. So can do that in. Tidy up the hands a little bit. There we are. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to do a bit of a highlight on the pants and gloves. So I'm just kind of doing the really pronounced creases on the pants. And I'm just going to do a flick to catch the hands. There we are. That's pretty much the referee. I mean, there's not much to them, but I do want to try and do one thing. And for that, I will be using if you notice, I've left a white bit It's for my editor. Hopefully he likes that. He thinks it's kind of neat. And I use just a nice, very, was a point, what is it, a 0.25 millimeter ball tip pen. It's good for lining, if you want to do panel lines on mechs or other vessels, starships, Robotech, Battletech, stuff like that. Even Transformers. It works great. So, there is our ref. Like I said, hopefully he'll like the shot. There we go. Now he's nice and okay. Well, he was. If the camera could hold focus, that would be great. There he is. And I keep saying this. Next year, I'm gonna hopefully be able to upgrade the cameras to something that'll hold focuses better. Now for her, I haven't actually highlighted her hair yet. And for that, I'm going to use a color called the Fang. It's kind of a blue-gray. Because she's got a braid, I'm gonna try and go with the flow of the hair, and they actually tried to put strands into the hair, which is really nice of them. That was very cool. Noticed I missed a piece of overpaint. Hopefully I can fix that. There we go. Lovely roller derby girl. And then we have her partner, or one of her teammates. I'm actually going to use the same color and give her leggings kind of a similar highlight. Actually, I might do the same thing on the shorts too here. Okay. Just a little extra highlight. Well, there you have it. 2 team members. 2 out of the 5 team members for one set of roller girls, plus the referee. And there you have it. I don't know. Does it make much of a difference if I if I put them like that? There. You can kind of see. Yeah, that's what I thought I'd do. Put the stand in the paint. Oh well. There we are. And if you want to, you can cut out this part for her, but because she has such a small amount that's actually on the base, I'm probably going to choose to leave it just to give her a little bit more stability. Right there. Now, if you want to, you can paint the bases to look like wooden flat track if you want, or you can just leave them black and go with it that way. It's all good, no matter what you do. There you go. Because these are your miniatures, and you paint them up however you want. I mean, you can even paint the referee in some kind of wild color. Now, for him, I was going to go back and tidy up some of the striping, I think. Or, you know, just kind of well, some of it I will. I don't think we need much. Definitely didn't need that much. It's just going to be a few little bops here and there just to make the lines look a little straighter. Yeah, that's really about it. Oh, probably, yeah, probably just like I said, just a few little spots. And I'll make the shirt to make the stripes a little less obviously wide or narrow. You could spend years painting those to try and get them right. You know, I take off those little plastic covers, put them down, and then I never remember where it is that I put them. Now that's how I get so many brushes without their little plastic caps. Because every one of my brushes should have those little plastic caps on them, and a lot of them don't. Oh yeah, he never had a cap. Nope. There you go. You can see that it's just a little bit neater, a little bit nicer. There we go. And there we are. And as always, stay safe, be safe, most of all, paint safe, and we'll see you next time in the workshop. Hey guys, how's it going? Give me 1 second. Be right back with you. Okay, guys. Hi. Welcome to the workshop. We're just going to do a nice little quick thing here. And we're going to show you how to fix a little oopsie. I'll grab the handle here. And we will grab the referee. So, on the referee, I wrote, there we go. I wrote my editor's kind of nickname on it, but I got it wrong. I thought it was Rizzo, but it's Razzo with an A, not an I. So, we're just going to fix it. Be a nice, easy fix. So what we're going to do is going to grab some white paint. Nice fine brush. And we are just going to basically white out the mistake. And right now we're just gonna have to let things kind of dry between coats. To cover it up. And don't be afraid to get out a hair dryer or, blow on the miniature. I know you can't see in the big picture, but you can see in the little one that I'm, blowing on it, trying to get it to dry so that we can start adding a nice coat of the next coat of white. To cover up, keep covering up that mistake. I can't believe I made a mess up like that, but it happens. And this is a great way to show you how to tidy up a mistake that was made. You can see the white block beginning to form there. There we go. And there we are. The unfortunate mistake is gone. And now, again, we just let the paint dry a little bit. Before we get out the tiny pen. Well, the tiny tipped pen, I should say. And rewrite the name, but this time spelled correctly. Again, with an A, not an I. These are just little mistakes that can happen. And don't take them to heart. Just know it happens, and you can either learn from it or kind of chuck your project against the wall or throw it in the garbage or whatever you want. But mistakes on minis are usually fairly easy to fix. Even if you drop a mini and it breaks. Just get out the glue. Glue your miniature back together. Maybe paint over, touch up where the break was if you need to. Okie dokie. All right. So now we're just taking a very, very fine pen. Like I said, it's a 0.25 millimeter ballpoint pen. Super nice and fine. And we are just going to rewrite There we are. There we are. Got it all correct now. And we fixed it. And made everything okay. Now, I mean, you can try and do this with paint and paintbrush if you want. That's fine. I find that for work like this, either a paint pen either a paint pen, super fine ballpoint pen, or possibly even one of these work great when you're either trying to write a name or do any kind of lettering. Yeah. And that's how you get stuff like that. Oh, that is a beautiful picture of my referee. There, not so much. Come on. Of course, now the cat. There we go. Beautiful picture of our referee. Oh yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is fixing a mistake. And you can see it really wasn't that hard. It took us about 10 minutes. Easy peasy. And then you just move on to your next project and have fun painting. So, as always, stay safe, be safe, and most of all, paint safe. And we'll see you next time in the workshop.